So here's who's in the pots. In pot 1, it's Brazil, the Netherlands, Russia and Ukraine. Pot 2, Argentina, Iran, Republic of Ireland and Scotland. In pot 3, Australia, Canada, England and the USA. Pot 4 is Japan, Northern Ireland, Portugal and Venezuela. And so we now move on to the part that maybe everybody's here for, the actual draw. So to draw the teams from pot 1, I'd like to ask David Clark to please come forward. Round of applause, please. David, when I ask you, I would ask you then to draw from pot 1. It's an open draw. So, David, could you please mix the balls and pull the first team and give it to Sam, who will say what team it is. Ukraine. Go into Group A. David, could you please draw the first team in Group B? Russia. Go into Group B. Could you please draw Group C? Brazil are the first team in Group C. And David, could you please draw Group D? And we hope the Netherlands. David, thank you very much. David Clark. And so we have in Group A, Ukraine, Group B, Russia, Group C, Brazil, Group D, the Netherlands. I would like to now call to the stage David Sheepshanks, CBE, to draw the teams from pot 2. Now, as I explained at the beginning, England, Group A, which is the England A3 group, cannot draw Scotland, so they're not in the open draw to begin with. So, David, could I ask you to mix the balls and to draw the first team from pot 2?
Iran.
Iran go into Group A. Can I now ask you, please, to draw the Group B group? And can you add Scotland to the main draw, please? Yeah, please. Okay, and the second team in Group B is?
They're very sticky, these balls. Suspense. Republic of Ireland.
Republic of Ireland join Russia, who are current Paralympic and World Champions. Can you please now draw the second team in Group C? Yep. No. Yeah, no.
Scotland.
Scotland join Brazil in Group C. And could I ask you now to draw the last team in Group D? The Scottish manager, tell him we've got Brazil.
And the last team is Argentina.
Argentina go in with the Netherlands. David, thank you very much. Round of applause for David, please. So, into Group A, joining Ukraine is Iran. Group B, Republic of Ireland. Group C, Scotland. And Group D, Argentina. Now, to draw pot 3, could I ask Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, please come forward. If you remember, England is the red ball. So, Jimmy, could I ask you to draw the red ball first, please? Yeah, please. Yes, please.
England.
So England go into Group A with Iran and Ukraine. Could I please now ask you to mix the balls and to draw the third team in Group B?
Australia.
Australia join Republic of Ireland and Russia. Could I now ask you to draw the third team in Group C?
USA.
USA join Scotland and Brazil. And could I now ask you, please, to draw Group D?
Canada.
And Canada join Argentina and the Netherlands. Jimmy, thank you very much. And good luck on Saturday against Accrington Stanley. Okay, so just a quick recap. England go into, obviously, into Group A, Australia into Group B, USA into Group C, and Canada into Group D. So the last pot is to be drawn by Kelly Simmons, MBE. Kelly, please come forward. Okay, so this is actually quite simple now, and I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm very happy. So what I could ask you to do, can you please add in pot 4B, 4C and 4D? Remember, in Northern Ireland can't play in England's group. And could I ask you to mix the balls and draw the... Mix the balls and draw the last team in England's group.
Japan.
So Japan join Group A and will be the opening fixture on the 16th of June at 1 p.m. Thank you. Now, Kelly, could I ask you to put 4A into the main draw pot? And please give the balls a mix. And please draw the last team in Group B.
Portugal.
Portugal go into the Australia, Russia and Republic of Ireland group. And once again, can I ask you to draw the fourth team in Group C?
Venezuela.
Venezuela join those teams previously drawn in that group. And hopefully, the last ball, we hope it's right.
Northern Ireland.
And so Northern Ireland join the Netherlands, Argentina and Canada in Group D. Kelly, thank you very much. Okay, so let's look at the draw. So in Group A, Ukraine, Iran, England and Japan. In Group B, Russia, Republic of Ireland, Australia and Portugal. Group C, Brazil, Scotland, USA and Venezuela. And Group D, the Netherlands, Argentina, Canada and Northern Ireland. Already there's some really interesting fixtures. The US head coach, Stuart Sharp, we visited, he used to be the head coach of Scotland, so he goes back and he knows all about them, so I'm sure that he'll be very happy about that. And obviously England are in group with Ukraine, Iran and Japan. What we'd like to do now is just to remind you about the England fixtures. So on the 16th of June, England play Japan at a 1 p.m. kickoff. They then move to play Iran at a 7 p.m. kickoff on the 18th of June, and their final game is against Ukraine at 5 o'clock on the 20th of June. And what we want to do is to maybe get some thoughts of the England head coach, Keith Webb, and Jack Rutter. I've got to quickly run over and get a mic. So I'll do that. So if I just ask them to come forward and we'll ask them a couple of questions. Okay, Jack, you've seen the draw. What's your first initial thoughts?
Very excited. We kick off the tournament against Japan, and we're looking forward to getting underway now.
Is there any team in particular you're concerned with?
We're prepared for every team. We don't mind who we get out of the 15 other teams we could have played, and Keith will have us prepared to do the best we can in those games.
Thank you, Jack. Keith, your first time at a World Championship, how do you feel?
I'm really looking forward to it. It's great that we can do it on home soil, and what a great opportunity for the boys to really showcase their capabilities to the home crowd. So I'm really excited and really looking forward to it.
Is there any challenges being the host nation? What challenges do you think you might face at the World Championships?
Well, I think any team that comes here will be inspired by the surroundings. The facilities are absolutely first class, and the teams will find the pitches of outstanding condition, which will allow, hopefully, for some really good football to be played by all the nations. So it will be challenging, because I think it will inspire all the nations. So whoever we were going to get in the draw was going to be a really hard task, but we're preparing for that, and hopefully we can be part of something really special.
Keith and Jack, best of luck for the tournament. Jack Rutter and Keith Webb. So, we're nearly there. Just to say, after the end of the draw, we have a disability football demonstration down on the indoor pitch. It's a part of the People's Cup, and please, if you can, take some time to go down there and support the teams who are playing. We are then back at 12:30, back up to here into the Ron Greenwood room, where we got refreshments from 12:30 onwards. If any of the media would like to do any requests with either any of the England players or any of the guests, please see Matt Phillips or Pete Maxwell, and they'll organise that for you. So, 96 days to go to the opening ceremony on the 16th of June. Remember, at CP England 2015, hashtag CPFWC draw. So let's try and get that trending. 12 days of fantastic football competition. I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.